nothing in the first quarter. Swift breaks a tackle, lunges for the end zone. Touchdown. And they do give it to him, Julio. Like Superman, he flies through the air. Mount Doug Rams are your 2011 Subway Bowl champions.
It's game on.
Tonight, striking a chord. Langford Lanes is a huge hit in the capital.
Simon says, Grey Cup champs. We have a quick shift with the Lions slot back.
And we have Dallas Stars owner and billionaire Tom Ghilardi in the sports cage. Yes, billionaire with a B. It's game on.
Game On is brought to you by Windows West, doing what it takes to earn your business and going even further to keep it.
Hello and welcome to Game On. I am Jeff, this is Paul, and we are not only here to give you your weekly local sports fix, but here to remind you, fellas, you have just 20 shopping days left before Christmas.
Yeah, and we are in the giving mood already, set to unwrap another great show. Ooh. We have G-Roy Simon coming up for a quick shift, our plays of the week, and Dallas Stars owner Tom Ghilardi in the sports cage. But first, we strike up the show and spare no details as we start at the new bowling alley in Langford, Jeff. See what I did there?
No, you didn't.
See what I did? Yes, I did.
Yes, Paul, 10-pin bowling is making a big comeback here in Victoria with the opening of Langford Lanes. The City Centre Park edition is giving guys like Paul and I a chance to once again avoid the dreaded gutter ball. Perhaps it's no surprise the return of 10-pin has been a smash hit.
It seems like ages since we last heard the trademark rumble of the lanes and crack of the pins. In fact, it's been over 5 years since Greater Victoria bowlers have had a place to call home.
Just over a week, not even, not a word of a lie. It took less than 2 weeks to get the whole place filled right up.
We actually had to do like send out a mass email and a phone message saying that to leave a message we get back to people as soon as we could. We simply couldn't handle the volume of requests for parties or league bookings. We have a huge waiting list for league bowlers now, and we're booked up through like the first week of January already.
Since the closure of Mayfair Lanes back in 2006, bowlers have been forced to head out of town in order to lay down a strike.
Pretty close, just about.
We've been waiting about 6 years to get a bowling center in Victoria, so I'm totally ecstatic.
Pretty excited. I had to drive up to Duncan to bowl, so the 45-minute commute now becomes 25 minutes, so it's a lot nicer.
But now, young bowling phenoms like Nathan Lamb have the luxury of staying within Greater Victoria to hone their skills.
It's hard for me to stay active and commute 45 minutes a day, but when there's a bowling alley here, I can at least come down every day or every third day and practice my hour or 2 hours a day.
And with these new lanes, there is also the possibility of bringing great bowlers to the area.
There's only 2 on the island, and since it's the most brand new center, they're going to want to host, important tournaments here.
We're also looking forward to holding possibly a provincials tournament or even a national tournament. So I think the whole community and area is totally excited.
Which means Langford Lanes could be just the start of a 10-pin revolution in the capital.
This portion of Game On brought to you by Capital Iron. There's no store like it.
Yeah, it's very cool stuff. Now, it sure was a busy and important weekend for local sports teams, from high school football to junior hockey. We got you covered.
Yes, we do, Paulie. And here's a man who actually has his own bowling shoes, size 4, Mike Walker, with our weekend sports wrap.
Little guy.
Thanks, guys. And believe it or not, I can tie my own laces, too. Well, it was a big weekend for high school football on Vancouver Island, with 2 teams claiming provincial championships over on the mainland. Let's start with the AA junior varsity game. The Nanaimo's Barsby Bulldogs up against Mission, and a come-from-behind effort for the boys in white yesterday, all capped off by a 61-yard run from Brandon Parker. He takes it all the way to the house, and that would be it. The Barsby Junior Varsity Bulldogs win the AA provincial title, 22-20 the final. Now later on in the evening, it was the Mount Doug Rams gunning for the AAA Varsity Championship against the powerhouse WJ Mowat Hawks. Not a great start for the Mount Doug boys. It's all Hawks early to put the Rams down 21-0 by the midway point of the second, but led by quarterback Jordan Deverell and some key plays at key times, including this TD on the final play of the half. The Rams came all the way back to tie it before Swift delivered a game-winning major with just 6 minutes to play. What a performance to become the first team in Island history to claim the BC AAA Football Championship. To the ice now, where the Victoria Royals were in the Okanagan for a pair of games this weekend. First a Friday night date with the Kelowna Rockets. And Victoria looking to snap a 6-game losing skid. They would do just that. A pair of goals from Robin Sudak, including this one midway through the third, would be enough for a 2-1 victory against their Okanagan rivals. But up Highway 5 in Kamloops, it would be a different story on Saturday night. Despite erasing a 2-0 deficit on a marker courtesy of Zane Jones, and then the first Western Hockey League goal off the stick of Ben Walker, the Royals would surrender 2 in the third to drop their 10th game in the last 12, 4-2 the final. Victoria is back home Tuesday night playing host to the Tri-City Americans. Gentlemen?
Thank you, Mikey. You know we love you. All right,
Love you,
time
Mike.
for a short time out here on Game On, but don't you dare go anywhere.
Yes, coming up a quick shift with Grey Cup champion G. Simon, plus our plays of the week.
Yeah, and Dallas Stars owner Tom Gillardy coming up in the Sports Cage. More Game On coming right up. Stay with us.
Game On is brought to you by Windows West, doing what it takes to earn your business and going even further to keep it.
Yeah, welcome back to Game On. Be sure to stick around for our Sports Cage as Dallas Stars and Kamloops Blazers owner Tom Gillardy joins us.
Yes, but first, the Grey Cup was here in Victoria just a couple of days ago with a few BC Lions players, and Magic Mike Walker caught up with G. Simon for a quick shift.
All right, here for a quick shift with Lions slot back G. Simon.
Looking downfield for Simon, it's got it! G-Roy, touchdown!
And G. first question, got to ask you, where did the Superman pose come from?
It came from just watching cartoons with my son Jaden, and it was kind of a tribute to him, saying, you know, Daddy is a superhero, and it just kind of grew after that.
Awesome. Okay, then favorite superhero as a kid growing up?
Probably Superman. I mean, Superman is the man of steel. He can do no wrong, so definitely Superman.
You're from Johnstown, Pennsylvania, as any good hockey fan would know, home of the Johnstown Chiefs. Ever been to a game?
I have. I've been to plenty of Johnstown Chief games, and it was something fun to do when I was growing up. If I wasn't going to basketball or football games, so definitely a fan of Johnstown Chiefs.
You were kind of a multi-sport guy growing up. Obviously, football, the career of choice. What would you be doing if you weren't a football player?
I'd probably be playing basketball. Basketball is my first love, but then baseball. So I played a bunch of different sports, but football came pretty easy to me.
How about your favorite athlete growing up out in Pennsylvania?
My favorite athlete was Walter Payton. I know he's not from Pennsylvania, didn't play for any Pennsylvania teams, but he was one of my favorite athletes growing up, just because he played with such heart and such determination. He was a great player.
Best thing about playing the game of football north of the border in Vancouver?
Oh man, so many great things. Vancouver's opened their arms to me, and it's been a great place for me for a number of years. Just having an opportunity to play for the BC Lions and then win a Grey Cup, and then win a Grey Cup at home. This is definitely one of the best things that ever happened to my football career.
All right, G. thanks very much for doing this. Thanks for coming to the island. This has been another quick shift with Grey Cup champion
G. Simon.
Good stuff, G. Always a class guy. And what a treat to have Lord Grey's mug on the island for a little visit.
Yeah, it sure was. Time to switch gears, though, Paul, and look at some star athletes of tomorrow.
Yes, Game On and front runners coming together to congratulate two great athletes this week. Start with 16-year-old Liam McGuire, who is an amazing runner. The grade 11 student at Claremont won the Vancouver Island Cross Country Championships and Provincial Championships this year. But that's not all. Liam is also an elite triathlete, racing against 16 to 19-year-olds, and Mr. McGuire was the Western Canadian Junior Elite Champion. Our other athlete this week is Ashley Cathro, and as you can see by the hardware, she's pretty good. The grade 6 middle school student won all 4 cross-country races she was in this fall, including the Provincial Championships in Aldergrove. Ashley was presented with the BC Athletics 2011 Junior Development Award for track and field, and at the elementary school track and field finals in June, she broke the city school record for the 800-meter girls. Now, Rob Reed at Front Runners is always a big supporter of up-and-coming athletes, and wanted to reward both of these talented individuals.
We're just starting out Game On, check, front runners, shoe scholarship of the month. And Ashley, because you had such a great season in running, we want to congratulate you and give you some kit or some product to keep you going. And same with you, Liam. Yeah. You've had a great season too. So 2 fine athletes. These don't have to go in your Christmas stockings. You can get out and start running with them right away. And thanks a lot.
Yeah, very cool. Rob Reed and his staff at Front Runners always giving back to the community. We are proud to have them as one of our Game On sponsors.
Yeah,
for
we sure are. And you know what part of the show that Rob Reed likes best?
What is it?
Our Plays of the Week.
That is right. Once again, here's Magic Mike Walker.
Thank you very much, and let's not waste any time. Here's the very best of the past 7 days in our Plays of the Week.
Plays of the Week is brought to you by Hasbro Environmental, demolition, asbestos, and mold abatement specialists.
Ah, yes, time to chow down. Czech Sports intern Aaron Mackay getting busted at the Grizzlies games, but hey, you need a big appetite for big plays like this one from Wes Myron, scoring his 14th of the year in style. And speaking of fancy footwork on the ice, outdoor skating back in downtown Victoria. Just steer clear of Paul Haysom. He's a bit of a goon out there. Big week for high school footy in the capital. Lambert Park and Glenline Norfolk going toe-to-toe in the Colonist Cup game to double OT, where Jordan Vanstone chips home the winner for the Lions. They are your Colonist Cup champs. Now, Paulina Gretzky getting a little risque on Twitter this past week, posting these photos for the whole world to see. How did Wayne take the news? Not well, and he promised Messi wouldn't do this. Back to the rink and check out the Royals captain Hayden Rintoul, the blast from the blue line. That thing had some serious heat, but he's not the only one. Ryan Kessler can swing a pretty big stick too, with a Brett Hull-esque one-timer against the Blue Jackets. Now, how about a good way to get noticed out on the surf? Check out these light-up boards from down under. Also a good way to catch the hungry eye of a great white, or our Czech Sports intern. To the world of golf, and how about this shot from Dustin Johnson from 163 yards out? He drains it for the eagle. Yeah, that'll get you pretty pumped up. And so will this from the gridiron at BC Place. Mason Swift of the Mount Doug Rams posting a 3-touchdown performance, leading the boys in black to the high school varsity AAA title. Way to go, Rams.
Thank you, Mike. Alrighty, it is time for a short break here on Game On, but stick around. Up next, Paul and I chat with owner of the Dallas Stars and the Kamloops Blazers, Tom Gallardi.
Yeah, good guy and a huge hockey fan.
Yeah.
But before we do that, here's a look at some Island standings.
Island Standings is brought to you by Front Runners New Balance, locally owned, community driven. Sports Cage is brought to you by McLaren Electric, leaders in lighting for 50 years.
Welcome back to Game On. You are in the Sports Cage, and Paul and I are happy to welcome Tom Gallardi to Game On, and of course the owner of the Dallas Stars. Actually, just recently, Kamloops Blazers. Of course, your family owns Moxies and Sandman. And to start with a huge question here: did you bring? I know you're an avid rec hockey player. Did you bring your gear over so that you can suit up with Paulie and I here for a little rec hockey?
No, but if you tell me in advance, I might do that next
Well,
time.
Next time we'll get you to do that.
That's right.
Just purchased the Dallas Stars. It's like 10 days old. Just tell us about that. And you just got back from Dallas, I guess.
Yeah. I spent a few days there, and this last trip around, and so I got a big job ahead of me there. Yeah, it's an exciting place, a big market, and a franchise that's had a lot of success. So it's a franchise that's lost its way in the last 2-3 years. So there was a lot of mistakes made there in terms of the way they managed the team, and then when you don't have an owner for 2-3 years and you're owned by 40 banks going through an impending bankruptcy, it's pretty tough for a fan to get emotionally attached to a team that really has no visible owner and no soul, if you will. So, the guys that were there did the best job they could, but when you're hamstrung like that, it's a pretty tough situation to be in. But, you're talking about a team that from 99 to 2009 is the winningest team in the NHL. Yeah. Back in the, you go back 8 years ago, it was the #1 revenue team in the NHL. So, as I say, this is not a team that hasn't been up, and it's it's my job now to get it back to where it ought to be.
Why Dallas? Why wasn't it and because you tried for a couple of years to get this franchise. Why was it Dallas? Why wasn't it Phoenix? And why not the Winnipeg Jets or that type of thing? Was it just the right fit for you, Tom?
I think so. I mean, my mother's a Texan.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I grew up. I got a lot of family there, and when I was young, I used to go down there 2-3 times a year. So it's a place I have an affinity for, and a lot of comfort being there. I understand it, and it's a huge market, the 4th largest market in America. Growing like crazy, 6.5 million people in the Metroplex. So it's probably the best arena in the NHL, as far as I'm concerned. And so, all these things are right there. And there's other teams, I guess, that I've seen and looked at over the years, and it has to come down to, personally, is the timing right, and is the opportunity right, and I guess everything kind of, the stars aligned, if they will.
Hey, we're working on that one for a while. It only took you 5 years to figure that one out. But tell me about what your approach is going to be as an owner, because I know we've had owners before who have been hands-on, standoffish. What's going to be your approach to the team?
X's and O's in the locker room.
Yeah, you're going to be drawing up that type of thing. This is what I do in rec hockey. Do that.
Well, you hate if it comes to that. I actually have a trap that I learned a few years ago that I've taught the guys in Kamloops, and that didn't go over very well. That meeting, but
to Tampa Bay as well.
Yeah, you know what, guys? I like to watch hockey, so people say to me, "Well, now you own an NHL team. Are you going to sell Kamloops? Are you going to be involved with it?" And you know what? Here I am for 2 days. I'm watching Counts play here in Victoria, and so I'm a fan. I like sitting in the seats. I wear blue jeans and sit at the game, and that's what I'm all about. So that's where I want to be with Dallas. My model is to hire the best people you can, and then to help them be successful. And help them as much as they need help. But I've got a great team of guys in Dallas now, and I feel really strongly about it. And really, I just like being part of a team and be part of what happens on and off the ice, and you share the success and you share the losses, and that's part of sport. So,
and let's talk about our young Jamie Benn, a Victoria guy. Actually, Paul played Junior B with Jamie, and you said you knew there was something special there when he was in Kelowna years ago.
Well, he's a late bloomer. I mean, he didn't, he never played in the league until. He was a late guy joining the WHL, and then he came in and scored. He had a 50-goal year, I think, and knocked my team out of the playoffs one year. So if I could have got a hold of him in a dark alley that year, I would have done something to him. But now I'm glad I didn't, because now he plays for me in the NHL. So he is an ex-superstar, I think, in one of the great superstars and the great future of the NHL. And for Dallas, he's as important a player as we have on our roster. So, and we've got a great future in Dallas. We've got a great young team, core group of guys. Our best players are young and committed, and Jamie's part of that mix. So we're excited to have him.
You mentioned that you're willing to buy a team if you have to, but I mean, you've got some pretty good cogs in place. Do you even think about that yet, or do you let New and Dike think about that? What's your process there?
Well, the great thing is that one of the great things I inherited was Joe Newendike.
Yes.
And so he's a guy that I always admired him as a player, and philosophically we see things the same. And Joe doesn't believe you buy a winner, and so we're doing it the old-fashioned way. And luckily for me, I get to come in when some of the hard work's been done, and we're on our way here. I mean, 2 weeks ago we were the toast of the NHL with the best record in the league, and so. We had a tough little stretch there, and now we've got some injury troubles. But I think that we're going to wait and see, and there's some guys we have eyes on, and some opportunities maybe in the future and things. So we'll spend if it makes sense, but you can't buy a winner in the NHL. I think there's too many teams out there that have tried that, and it doesn't work, and it doesn't work in the WHL, and I don't think it works in the NHL. And you have to, the teams that win and have success, the teams that grow together, stay together, develop together, and so that's Joe's philosophy in the NHL, and I support that.
So let's talk WHL right now, because it's well, first of all, your thoughts of being here in Victoria. I mean, the last time the Kamloops was in Victoria was 1994.
Yeah, we lost that game, I heard.
Yeah, that's right.
Retribution.
But what do you think of the Dub being back here in Victoria? Being from just across the pond in Vancouver, you must be excited that the island finally has the Dub back.
I think it's great, and. The league wanted desperately to be back on the island, and we got the opportunity here with the arena being here and good owners, and so it was the right opportunity, and it worked out. So I think I speak for everyone in the WHL that we're thrilled to be back. Probably shouldn't have ever left, and But we're here now, and I think it's great. This is going to be a great market for it's a win-win for everybody. It's
and a great arena too.
It's a great ring. Yeah, first time I've seen the arena and last night, and it's great. And yeah, I mean, it's the best league, best developmental league, best junior league in the world. I mean, these are for fans that haven't been out. And I've met some people here for business, and I've asked guys who've been to any games, and guys have said, 4 out of 5 guys said, I haven't.
Really? Yeah.
And I say, shame on you.
Get out and see this.
These guys, you don't understand what you're watching here. These players are the best teenagers in the world.
Yes.
And these are elite players, and at this level, and it's great hockey. So I suggest to anybody, get out there and see the hockey. It is as exciting or more exciting. I'd just assume watch a junior game than I would NHL.
Really?
Because juniors
they're go.
They're there for the right reasons.
Yeah.
They want to be pros. They care. They're competitive, and I think at some point too, you see a few more mistakes. In terms of their juniors, they're not pros yet, and so mistakes equal scoring chances, and scoring chances are what get fans out of their seats.
Right.
So it's exciting to watch.
It's great. It's great to see your passion for the game of hockey, and it's great to see an owner with that kind of passion. Do you sometimes worry, being that emotionally invested, you'll start making knee-jerk decisions as a fan almost would? I mean, look at the Canucks and the Luongo situation. A lot of fans will just say send them out of town, but an owner, you almost got to be smarter. Right?
Well, yeah, that's why you have general managers, and I don't get to make the personnel decisions like that. I mean, I'll certainly let them know how I feel.
Yeah.
But these guys have gotten pretty smart too. My general managers have a tendency to turn their Blackberries off, midway through the third period, and then I can't usually find them to the next day.
Right.
I mean, they have a system in place to deal with me.
Now, you actually were interested in buying the Canucks a few years ago. That fell through. Now, are you still a fan of the Canucks now that you own Dallas? How does that work?
No.
Nice.
That's a simple
good
answer.
I like it. There you go.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's your competition. Yet you said the happiest day of your life was the day you bought the Dallas Stars. Is that not true?
You owned an NHL
I think
team.
I said it's one of the happiest days of my life, and I don't know how it couldn't be anyone's happiest day. Own an NHL franchise and be involved with a market like that. So. I grew up as a Canuck fan. I mean, but now, there's the Stars and there's 29 other teams that, that I dislike in varying degrees on the ice. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, that is all the time we have. Tom, thanks so much for coming in.
My pleasure.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, great.
There he is, Tom Ghilardi, and that is it. Another edition of the Sports Cage and Game On here on Check, and of course, each and every Monday night at 6:30 and 10:30, your local sports fix. It's
Game On.
Game On. Thanks for joining us.